Hello there and welcome to Space Engineers. My name is Rick and today I will be showing you what I've been up to basically in the game Space Engineers. So over here we have a little green ship. Let me turn on the heads up display. Yeah, so if we take a look at the ship, there's a couple of mining drills mounted on the front. There's a little bump in the middle here, which is an ore antenna, which will help me figure out where the ore is in asteroids like that one over there. But for now we're just going to enter the cockpit, and now we can look around in the cockpit. And over there is our giant station, which I say we, mostly it's been me, but Benjamin's here today. He's going to be helping me out building. So yeah, let's fly up to the hangar portion of the station and I'll show you around. You might have noticed there's a couple of ships lying about. Some of those are player created ones and some of those are made by the devs and put in that we can raid because they have stuff in them and then drag home and disassemble basically, which we will be getting more into next week. Yeah, doing a careful touchdown, locking the landing gear, getting out and stretching our legs. So this is basically the red hangar, which is one of the two hangars that we have on the station currently, with a small interior turret here to guard against any intruders. It's got a little wall in front of it to have some cover. And over there you can see another small ship, which is built by another friend of mine. So in we go. This is like a reception area, sort of welcome to the station. And there we have a lovely rotating statue. And we have some cockpits in here. Not fully built, so you can look in and see the wonderful detail that they have in there. Over here is the green hangar, indicated by the green light and the green color. Color coded for convenience obviously. This one's a little bigger than the other one. It's got another ship which is built by Benjamin. Again, we'll be taking a closer look at ships next week. This hangar has 3 interior turrets, but no roof yet. Still a work in progress. And over here is a little fighter of mine that I built recently. Also still a work in progress. Right, so let's keep going. Back into the little lobby area. Decent, small unbuilt decoration over there. And in we go in the factory area, which is color coded blue. And first door on the right is a small weapons locker. So if we press K, you can see small cargo container. It's got an automatic rifle in there. Let me just open up. This is the menu where you can see all the blocks in Space Engineers right now. More will be added later, but there's lots of things like windows, Gatling turrets, there's even wheels in the game, to just your basic armor block. And here's the assault rifle itself. Other tools include the welder, the grinder, which you can use to deconstruct buildings and blocks like this light armor block here, and then you can use the welder to build it back up again. There's also a small handheld drill, but I don't have one on me currently, as you can see in the inventory. So we'll take a look at that another time. For now, let's go over here. There's some large cargo containers, in which is a lot of stuff, like steel plates, construction components, small steel tubes, motors. And these are basically components that you can use to build all the blocks that you see around me, like the refinery is made out of blocks, the steel catwalk that we're on is made out of blocks. If you look on the right you can see a little menu saying this is made out of interior plates, metal grids, steel tubes, more metal grids, and some construction components, and it's listing how much of each it contains. So yeah, moving on. There's Benjamin sitting in a cockpit recharging his energy, which is basically, well, it's not your health, since you have a separate health meter, but it's basically power that you need to run the grinder. So if I start grinding this metal catwalk, steel catwalk, you see my energy is ticking down faster than if I'm just standing around here. Just let me weld this back up to full, and then we'll sit in the cockpit and recharge our energy for a little bit. So if this was a ship you could move around, but since this is a station, this will be stationary. Have a look at Benjamin welding over there. However, you can press K to open the control panel and see all the components that your station is made of. that you can interact with in some way, like for example, if I want to close all the doors on the station, they are now closed. If I want to open all the doors on the station, then they are now open. Let's press close again so you can actually see them close in the distance. And open them up again. Alright, enough messing around. Let's continue the tour. So if we walk down here for a moment, you can see there's assemblers. And if we press K, you can see there's a lot of ingots in there. Basically, you can fly out to asteroids. Like for example, the asteroid over here, that's your starting asteroid. At least if you choose the scenario that I chose. There can be ore inside of them. You can mine the ore, collect it, then place it in a refinery. Let me just fly over there real quick. Which is this tall building. The refinery will turn the ore into ingots that you just saw in the assembler. Over here. Then we can go to the production tab. Select assembler. Select assembling, so that we'll put components together. So we can say, let's make 3 steel plates. Then we can go to inventory. And now we have 3 steel plates. Which is kinda nice. Got a little display over here. Construction components, metal grid, a large steel tube, an interior plate. There's a lot more stuff, but we're not gonna take a look at all of them today. Let's walk over here. Benjamin's still welding. So now we've got a stairs leading down, which is basically a heavily secured area where my medical bay is. And in the lower left you can see that I'm interacting with my medical room, and I'm gaining my health back because I flew into something really fast earlier. Yeah, not my best move ever. And over here, conveyor tube, which will move things around in your station. We'll get into that in more detail later, I suppose, in the series. Let's look over here. This is a large ship based on wheels, and we use it to transfer stuff all over the place using these connectors and collectors. Basically, this connector over here spits items out, and we have the collector, which, as the name implies, collects things that are spit out. And we drive it in between there and there by going into this cockpit, for example, pressing K. There's a little group over here which contains these rotors, and if I press on, the wheels will start moving slowly, as you can clearly tell by the texture. There's an artificial mass block on there as well, which is holding it all down. Because basically in Space Engineers, ships are not affected by gravity. So for example, the ship that you can see over there is not affected by gravity. But this thing will be affected by gravity. As you can see in the lower right, we're currently in a gravity field with 0.3 G pointing downwards. So if I turn my jetpack off, we will fall down. And basically you can put these artificial mass blocks on your ship to have them work with gravity, which is pretty cool. Over there we have a Gatling turret station, which we will get into more detail about later, because there's certain hazards in this world that you will need to protect yourself against. And over here's the last part of the station. This is where I will be building a shipyard. There will be a dividing wall between here, and we'll have the large shipyard for building large ships. And over here we have a small portion where we will build small ships. Like for example this one over here, which is a product I recently built over there. Again, we'll get into more detail about ships next week. So yeah, this has been basically a quick tour about our Space Engineer station for now. Hope to see you next week. We'll talk about small ships, large ships and other things. And we'll get into more detail there. My name has been Rick, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next week.